The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Tune in Wednesday nights on the iRacing Esports Network to watch the cars and stars of Lionheart, the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment.
In a week where future NASCAR schedules have been released, rumors of dormant and currently unused tracks have surfaced. And while it looks like the real world has to wait for a few years to see tracks like Rockingham come back to the NASCAR calendar, the Precision Racing League has given us a potential sneak preview of the future as the PRL NASCAR Truck Series roars into round 2 of the season tonight. Hello and welcome to The Rock, where drivers look to put an attrition-filled Martinsville season opener behind them and instead begin a season that they hope to be filled with speed and consistency. Up in the booth tonight, bringing you all the action will be yours truly, Nick Schmeg, being joined alongside by Adam Lindgren. In the director's chair with us tonight is Sean Crackers Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Adam, Rockingham is a track that a lot of old-time NASCAR fans love to reminisce about. It was one of the fan favorites, and I don't think for anyone that races it that comes as a surprise.
No, it does not, Nick. Clocking in at just over a mile or 1.6 kilometers, I would like to welcome you all to The Rock, Rockingham Speedway. No, my road racing friends, these NASCAR Gander Truck Series drivers are not attempting to tackle the Corby contraption in the UK. This American oval takes its name from the nearby municipality of Rockingham, North Carolina. And strangely enough, this southeastern track opened as a flat, pure one-miler before undergoing extensive renovation and becoming the D-shaped oval we think of so fondly today. While the front stretch follows the American oval dogleg trend, The backstretch is nicely straight and long, allowing you to set up a pass with a good run through the 22-degree banked 1 and 2, and for late braking and lunges into the high 25-degree banked 3 and 4. While the main NASCAR series may not have raced here in real life since 2004, under new ownership, the track is hoping to make a resurgence on the Pro Circuit, so it's only fitting that we bring the Precision Racing League Truck Series here to Thunder Valley. With those hopes in mind, what better way to christen this event than by taking a ride around Rockingham Speedway in our GSRC Lap Guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around Rockingham Speedway today in the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado. Rockingham is a fun track, but it's about as bumpy as an old dirt road. So here we go. For your hot lap, you're going to be aiming for this yellow line right here on the bottom. The banking and the speed is going to carry you up a little bit, but you're going to diamond down here and cut the bottom, come right out of turn 2, down Thunder Alley, and then down into turn 3, same thing. Aim for the yellow line, kind of let the truck float up. You're not full back into the gas until about here. Riding the bumps out, back off of the corner, across the line, and that's going to complete your lap. As the run progresses, you might see guys kind of venture up to this region of the speedway. A lot of banking up there can really help the truck turn over the course of a run, especially with iRacing's dynamic track surfaces. Turn 3, same sort of situation. You can let it roll up the banking. Careful not to get into the gas too quick like I do right here. The rear end is going to want to snap around on you. You're going to come out of turn 4, down the front stretch, and across the line. And that's going to complete our track guide here around Rockingham Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And there you see a very unique lap around Rockingham Speedway. Race about to begin, qualifying wrapping up, but let's quickly look at the race details before we get you going tonight. This is round 2 of 10 in the PRL Truck Series. Of course, that means we are using the Chevy Silverado and the Toyota Tundra that iRacing has for us. Fixed setups and a restricted fuel. It's 70%, so we are going to see a pit stop, at least one of them tonight. I bet we'll see more, because we have a 115-lap race, and your incident cap is 17. No spare truck in the pits, though. You really got to keep. You really have to take care of your Silverado or Tundra tonight. And looks like qualifying has just wrapped up. So let's take a look at our grid on the pole tonight. Looks like it's going to be Thomas Sink in the 48. He's going to be joined alongside by Sharn Hill. Remember, Thomas Sink also going to get 2 bonus points for having the pole up there tonight. Rob Haynes, Brendan Chatley, Bradley Holly going to be behind them, rounding out the top 5. J.R. Smith, Eric Roberts, Robert Basaw Jr., Nick Delp, and Mike Ricker are going to be your top 10.
That's right, and starting on row 11, let's see, we have, give me 1 second here. We have Robert Milken. Give me 1 second. We got Robert Milken. Then we have, sorry, I'm missing it here. Yes, we got Robert Milken, we've got William Hartman, and we have Alec Lumpkin.
I can help you out there, Adam. It's going to be Robert Millikian and Dominic Bajin behind them. Ray Richard, Charles Summer are going to be behind them in row 7. Number 15 spot on the grid goes to the number 60 of Colton Blaine. Brandon Walter, Austin Hunter, Ryan Benedict, Alex Lumpkin, and Chris Baydorf will round out the top 20. We have a 24 truck field for you tonight. Row number 11 going to go to Danny Duchesne and Ronald McManus. Will Hartman will be in your 23rd position. And last week's winner, he's got some work to do. He didn't get a qualifying time in. John LaBath is going to be starting from the rear tonight. So the pace car begins to roll through turns 1 and 2. And on to the backstretch now. We had a lot of cautions last week, 8 of them in total at Martinsville. But we did have 6 different leaders. One of them was Thomas Sink. Another one was Sharn Hill. So a couple of really fast drivers on the front row. The Mustang pace car in turn 3. 115 laps at the Rock for a little bit of a throwback treat for you tonight. It'll be Thomas Sink in the 48, bringing them to green. Waiting for the pace car to pull off. There he goes. in the hands of the 48 of Sync. Green flag is in the air. We are underway in round 2 of the PRL NASCAR Truck Series. Thomas Sync gets a good start behind them. A little bit of checkup, but he's going to be clear. It's going to be the 29 of Rob Haynes to the bottom, already looking for that second position.
Rob Haynes getting a good run off. I think he's going to have a run, but actually it's Danny Duchesne that actually makes the run on the top side work. He's got the extra banking of 3 and 4 to help make this pass here, but they have a really uncomfortably fast Bradley Hawley behind them trying to make a move as well on Rob Haynes.
Sharn Hill is going to jump into that number 2 position, getting around the 29 of Haynes behind them. Bradley Hawley, like you said, J.R. Smith and Brendan Chatley side by side. Looks like that position's going to go to J.R. Smith, as Brendan Chatley's going to fall through the field just a little bit here to start the race.
Yeah, Brendan Chatley having a little bit of trouble there. He's struggling, and there's a little bit of a gap opening up in front of him. He was pushing a little bit through 3 and 4 in those last couple laps, so he's got it hooked up on the bottom now, so he should be able to move forward.
Battle for 10th right now is raging on as well. Rob Malikian and Mike Richter. The 66 of Dominic Bajin behind them, looking. Almost made it 3 wide on the backstretch. Thought better of it here at the Rock.
Yeah, definitely. This place does not do well with running side by side with how short it is, so trying to make these passes is going to be really crucial. There's plenty of spaces to pass, but you're going to be slow if you run side by side with someone.
Good battle for second. Sharn Hill still being able to hold off Rob Haynes. Bradley Hawley in the 184 and 4th there, charging forward as well.
Yeah, this battle here for 3rd is really intense. As we go on board with Bradley Hawley here, let's just watch as they go into this turn 3 and 4. A really unique thing about Rockingham is these bumps coming off of 4. You think that with the higher banking they'd be able to get more speed, but with the track as unsettling as it is, the speeds exiting 3 and 4 are about the same as exiting 1 and 2.
Definitely causes some unique passing scenarios here at the track. 7th place right now is side by side. That's Eric Roberts in the 28 on the top. In front of him now is Robert Basaw Jr. in the 24 getting by him.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a basic setup from 1 and 2. It looks like Robert Basaw got a really good run through 1 and 2 and was able to set up and make that lunge down into 3 and 4. Pretty basic move there, but, you know, gaining positions is never a bad thing.
Definitely not. And I don't think he's done either, because he's got quite the run in front of him on Brendan Chatley, who Chatley was really fast last week at Martinsville, led a good number of laps as well. Just like a lot of people got caught up in a lot of trouble. So it'll be interesting to see who can stay clean tonight. But so far in the first 8 laps of this race, very clean.
Very clean indeed.
And the caution comes out, of course, as soon as we say that.
Looks like it was John LaBeouf, our winner from last week.
It was indeed Brian Benedict with some help here. This was in turns 1 and 2, and like you said, John LaBeouf, your winner from last week, he struggled tonight in practice before the race. Just couldn't quite get the handle of Rockingham, it looked like, and you see just a little bit of help there in turn 1, slid down to the apron, and already some significant damage on that 911 truck.
Yeah, definitely. As you watch him go into 1 here, he's kind of angling high. He's trying to sweep down into the corner. And it looks like Chatley behind him just did not really see that he was doing that, and so stuck his nose in, and the two came together.
I will say that John LaBeouf's truck now, despite having damage, looks a lot cleaner than his winning truck last week at Martinsville, though. So hopefully that's some good luck for him later on in the race.
And everybody's in the pits now, and I mean everybody. Only the pace car out on the track now, so looks like tires are going to be at a premium. And as well as fuel, with that 70%, here's a chance to pick up some more fuel and maybe run longer on this next run if it goes green.
Absolutely. Much different than the tire strategies and the pit strategies we saw last week at Martinsville. A couple of drivers struggling to get in their boxes, it looks like. And the race off pit road's going to go to, I think, Sharn Hill.
That's right. Sharn Hill got off the pit lane first, so that's a That's a nice move up for him.
And Thomas Sink fell all the way back to 4th there from the lead.
Yeah, pit strategy is going to be interesting tonight. It's because of the fuel limitation. I don't think they can get to the end from. I mean, I'm almost 100% sure they can't get to the end from here. So, figuring out when they are going to go is going to be really important.
While we're under caution here, we do want to pay some love to the company sponsoring tonight's race. That is Established Traffic Control. Founded in 2005, as ETC is a leader in traffic control and traffic safety in the state of Pennsylvania through maintaining great relationships and providing exceptional customer service. In addition to being able to provide all you need for traffic safety, ETC makes custom signs. From street signs to company logos and everything in between. These custom signs make great gifts and wall decor. You have a design, ETC can make it. Shipping is available. For more information, visit their website at establishedtraffic.com or email Brendan Chatley at bchatley@establishedtraffic.com. As we take a look back at the track, it looks like the pace car lights are off. And like you mentioned, Sharn Hill, your new leader, after coming out of the pits. The pace car is going to pull into the pits, and the green flag is back out here as they are coming up to lap number 12. A great jump from the number 5 of Sharn Hill and of J.R. Smith in the 33 as well. The 184 of Holly not getting going as much as he wanted to.
Yep, and we're single file all the way back to the battle for 9th, which just sorted out between Mike Richter and Dominic Jean. Jean's been having trouble. He was the one who the gap formed in front of on the start of the race, so we'll see whether or not he can keep up this time. Battle for the lead.
Oh, that's right. J.R. Smith looks really fast. He's looking underneath the 5. It is going to be close, almost making contact in 1 and 2. Behind Smith is Bradley Holly. He's putting the pressure on the 33 truck as well as they roar down the backstretch here in Thunder Alley and head into 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looked like Bradley Holly thought about making a dive down there, but decided to keep it high and see if he could get a run off of 3 and 4, but that does not seem to work out, and everyone stays single file as they go down into 1.
J.R. Smith making his season debut. Did not race last week at Martinsville, but he's proving to be a significant force here in the championship battle early in the season here at Rockingham. Sharn Hill holding down the fort right now, though.
Go on board with Sharn. It looks like he's just... Sorry, as we go on board with JR, it looks like he's just kind of maintaining pace, but here he goes. He's got a really good run off of 2. We'll see whether he can make something with that.
Indeed, that was a big run. It's hard to go, like you said earlier, it's hard to go side by side through the turns and get a big run coming off. Looking down to the bottom, though, the 33's got a run. Here comes Smith. Into 1 and 2. Look, stays on the bottom. That's going to push Sharn Hill high. I think he's got the speed. He's going to clear him coming out of turn 2 and on the backstretch. New leader here at Rockingham is J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I think Sharn expected JR to back out of it as he turned down in, and then at the last minute had to move up, but here comes Bradley Holly. He's going to pop out and take a look down the dogleg.
Sharn Hill is not going in the direction he wants to. He is continuing to be stuck on that outside and lose positions because Holly's coming through. Thomas Sink, the person that was leading before those pit stops, now on the bottom of him as well in that number 48 machine.
Yeah, Sharn's got a decent run this time through 4, so I think it's going to pull out and make single file. Looks like it is. We see the Rob Haynes can take advantage of that and get up on the back of Sink here, but here they go backing up. And is that a... We already have a lap car coming through. He's hit the wall, and all the dive low to dodge. Ooh, and watch out!
That's Ronald McManus in the 78. He's got significant damage. I'm sure he's off the pace from that, but everyone does get out of his way.
Oh, man, and Sharn Hill gets into Bradley Holly. Holly is holding on to it. Unbelievable save from Bradley Holly there. Going through 1 and 2. Unbelievable.
Stuck on the outside, got tagged, and he went for a ride, but he's going to lose positions now, but he could have lost a whole lot more in this race because that was huge in front of him.
Crazy
Bit of a traffic jam to 29 down to the apron. It continues to stack up. This is a traffic jam through the front stretch now in turns 1 and 2. Holly down low.
Look at that. Rob Haynes is just trying to hang on to second position. At the time, like as this is going on, it's a 2.5 second gap up to J.R. Smith now. He's got to get his foot down and get moving.
Now it's Sharon Hill stuck on the outside. That's what stacked everyone up. He's got some pretty significant damage to the back of that number 5 Chevy Silverado as well. Robert Basal Jr. looking underneath him now. Oh, but the momentum's going to shift back to Hill here. Thomas Sink, who's he going to help being behind them?
Looks like he's going to stay low and help out Hill. Help out Basal Jr. And wow, look at this. They're just stacked up right at once, up against each other. Battle is not going away.
Robert Basal Jr. in 4th right now. Oh, what a move. Almost by the number 5 of Sharon Hill. Thought he was going to come down and take the nose off of Sink, but he wasn't able to. Thomas Sink keeps his nose in it, keeps his foot in it as well on the front stretch now. Still underneath the 5. They've been side by side for a number of laps now.
And I think Sharon might have had that, but here we go as Thomas Sink goes by there. As we are right on board looking back for Basal Jr. This gap's starting to open up, but Hill is just right on the back of Sink there, just trying to make it work. But, he's going to have to back it out and try and line it up again.
Thought he might be able to try the crossover, but he wasn't able to. Behind them, there's quite the battle. Chatley's in 7th behind them. It's going to be Colton Lane right now in the 60 truck holding off the 51, or I should say, he's now gapped the 51 of Mike Richter and Dominic Pagine behind them.
And right behind them is Charles Sumner. He is not having a very good race right now. He is our leader, tied for our leads in point with John LaBaff, who had the wreck early, and he's struggling back here in the mid-pack as we have a pass going on up front.
Rob Haynes in the number 29. He has caught the 184 of Bradley Holly. He's looking for 2nd place right now. Can't quite seem to find the momentum to seal the deal. He keeps getting close. He keeps getting side by side, but he can't seem to get around him right now.
He's taking a lot of risks and scrubbing off a lot of speed entering 1 and 2. That's just going to heat up your front tires, and it's going to make corner exit really difficult. It's going to make you super tight, make you push up to the wall. So trying to get a run here out of 3 and 4, we'll see whether he gets tight.
As the caution will come out for the 2nd time tonight. Looks like Ray Richer might have been the victim this time.
There's actually Mike Richter there in the 51.
Oh, it was Mike Richter in the 51. Coming out of turn 2, he had William Hartman behind him. I think he might have gotten just a little squirrely from the help from that 67 and sent it down. Almost saved it, but the back end came around, slapped the inside wall there, and he slid back up on the track, and that is what will bring out the yellow.
All right, so basically what happens here is Dominic Pagine, who's ahead of him, came off of 1 and 2 a little low, and that made Mike Richter have to slow up a little bit. And right behind it, wham! Yep, William Hartman just does not realize he's got to back up, and so Richter goes into the wall.
That's exactly what happened in a similar situation we saw under our first yellow. Everyone coming down the pit lane, well, just about everyone. J.R. Smith leads them down. They are getting stopped in their boxes now, and they've got to be careful. Speeding is very easy to have happen here.
Yeah, definitely, speeding on pit road, it's one of those things that they talk about in the real NASCAR series. Don't beat yourself, and this is one of those opportunities where if you're not careful, you will. And wow, Bradley Holly gets the best jump off of pit road.
Looks like he does. He's going to become your new leader here on lap 28. He comes out in front of J.R. Smith, Rob Haynes behind them, followed by Basal Jr. and Sharon Hill. You mentioned it earlier, Adam, is Charles Sumner was leading the points. What do we have over there in the points standings for the after one race?
All right, after one race, which was the crazy paperclip of Martinsville, we have Charles Sumner in the lead with 41 points. John LaBaff, who we saw had issues earlier this race, is tied with him right now with 41 points apiece. And then he's also the one who won the race at Martinsville. In third, we have Nicholas Delp with 38 points, only 3 points behind. And then Dominic Begine, 1 point behind that in fourth. And then we have two drivers tied for fifth. That is 36 points. 36 points behind the leader, and that would, in 1 second to take a look here, that would be Bradley Hawley and Rob Haynes.
So a lot on the line, of course, in every race. Points being dished out. Bonus points as well for the drivers if they lead a lap. And also if they have under 4 incident points. So just because you have a 17 incident cap maximum, you don't want to use them all up, because bonus point on the line for that. Also 2 bonus points for our pole sitter in every race. That was Thomas Sink tonight. And also 2 points for the most laps led.
And so you may be asking, Adam, why is Charles Sumner tied for the lead if John LaBaffe won the race? Well, Charles Sumner was the person with the most laps during Martinsville, the most laps led during Martinsville, so he was able to get an extra bonus point, and since he finished second, that makes him tied for the lead of the championship.
It does indeed. I have a feeling the points are going to have quite a bit of a shuffling after this round, because we're seeing a lot of new names up front. A lot of dominant names that we saw in Martinsville, though, as well. Like Sharn Hill in 6th right now, Chatley in 7th. Even Holly is winning this race now, so slap on an extra bonus point for him for getting at least 1 lap in, being the lead truck. All right, pace car about to pull off here at Rockingham for the 3rd time tonight. Coming up to lap number 31 out of 115. It is that 184 truck of Bradley Holly, the driver out of Texas, with J.R. Smith to his outside. The green flag in the air. He gets a great jump, but so does the 33. A big gap back to row number 2 as they storm down into turn 1 once again.
Basaw got way woed up on that high side. He might have spun the tires. He's now trapped high, but he backed up that entire up lane.
Oh,
the 65 goes around.
We stay green for now. Now the caution comes out as it is just melee behind them down on Thunder Alley in the backstretch after coming back up against the traffic. Chatley overturned. And 5, 6, maybe even 7 trucks heavily involved in that one.
This is the big one. Here we go, looking at Chatley. Yeah, look at him. He's there down on the bottom end, and he's going to dive it into 1 and 2 here. And as you can see, he gets a little bit loose there, clipping the yellow line, and he just gets help from the back end, and that sends him right into the inside line. And there's a whole separate incident that happens behind them with the 44 car of Ray Ricker.
It does look like that. Behind them, that was Ray, Richer, Chris Baydorf, Danny Duchesne. Looks like Duchesne actually made it through. But behind them, Richer, Baydorf, like I said, Walter, and LaBaffe. John LaBaffe was involved in this pretty heavily, again, after bringing out our first yellow tonight. So a lot of torn up trucks here. Bradley Holly did not lose the lead in that little 3/4 of a lap stint for him. J.R. Smith remains in 2nd, Haynes in 3rd, but behind them a bit of a shuffling. Sharn Hill, Basaw Jr., Colton Lane, Begine, Sink lost a couple spots, I think, and then further back in the mid-pack, a lot of guys that got through that. Like I said, Danny Duchesne, they all moved up through the field because of that, which looks very similar to, very reminiscent to Martinsville last week, when a couple of the drivers, like LaBaffe at the end, weren't in the greatest situations, but running 7th with the huge wreck, he was able to scoot through and take the win. So we might see something similar to that happen tonight as well.
Yeah, staying safe is one of the most crucial parts of any NASCAR race, and especially at these shorter tracks, it's really difficult to stay out of trouble and avoid wrecks because they happen so quickly. So they're going to struggle to do that, but those who get lucky and those who have the wherewithal to slow down and make sure to get through those wrecks safely, they're going to end up winding up at the front.
115 laps is a little bit of an endurance race for these drivers. Not quite what the drivers, I think, would do in the real world if they came here. but definitely a test of their patience as well.
Yeah, and it looks like the only people we have on pit road right now are those who are getting repairs after that accident. So everyone else has decided to stay out since it was such a short run and decided to maintain their track position.
Looks that way. I am curious to see what would happen in terms of fuel strategy. I think maybe with the amounts of cautions we've had, can we go to the end, do you think, here, Adam? Or do you think they're going to need one stop still for fuel?
I think they'll need one stop or maybe another caution or two to make it work, but it's going to be tight from here. I would guess that they're going to have to probably make one more stop before the end of the race for sure.
All right, well, we'll see what we get. The trucks are pacing now. Last lap before we go green. We're going to go green on lap number 36. Bradley Holly, who finished 6th place last week at Martinsville, is going to have the lead still. I mentioned on the last restart he was out of Texas. Well, he's got a fellow Texan alongside of him, J.R. Smith, also representing. So the pace car is going to make that sharp left turn onto pit road. Bradley Holly going to have control of the green tablecloth, about to be shown. He gets a good jump, actually spins the tires just a little bit, but still a great launch for Bradley Holly as we are back racing here at the Rock, headed down into turn 1.
Yeah, Smith spun his tires as well, but the front three are starting to break away, whereas fourth is really up for grabs here. Oh my goodness. It looks like Robert Passat Jr. No, sorry, Sean Hill got super loose out of the corner as Robert Passat Jr. takes it under the yellow line into 3.
Passat Jr. holds down the fort for now. He was riding the apron just about all the way through turn number 3, but he's got Thomas Sink with a lot of pressure behind him and Sean Hill behind Sink. They're side by side, 3 or 4 rows deep behind them as well.
Now we're taking a look here at Dominic Magin, and he is side by side right now for that 7th position, and they sorted out. Colton Lane pulls up ahead of him, but wow, going back here, look at Charles Sumner, our points leader, up in 9th position. He's just trying to survive. He's made it through all the wrecks so far, but he's just picking his way up the field.
Sumner got a little bit of a gap here nicely for himself, a little bit in front of him and a little bit behind him. Dominic Magin, like you mentioned, the next car, but a battle for the lead. J.R. Smith is really starting to put the pressure on the 184 of Holly.
Yeah, this is not a track where the chrome horn works, unlike Martinsville last night. So Holly's gonna, J.R. Smith is gonna have to make this work really on his own merits. But Bradley Holly's carrying a lot of speed into the corners. We'll see whether J.R. Smith is getting better exits and can make this pass work.
He keeps peeking down to the bottom on the dog leg of the front stretch here. He just can't quite get that big run he needs into turn 1 to get down there, and the caution flag waves once again. This one was Chris Baydorf.
28.
Chris Baydorf and Eric Roberts involved in this one, it looks like. Eric Roberts on the outside going into turn number 1. Yeah, that's the 67 of William Hartman. Getting a little bit squirrely into the corner. It looks like he just got a little tight, actually. Now that I take a better look at that, came up the track and into him.
Yeah, it looks like
the wall.
Yeah, it looks like both of them kind of met in the middle there. Roberts came down into the corner like he was going to take the normal line, and Hartman went a little high into the corner, and they just met in the middle.
And Chris Baydorf, I think, was hoping that the 28 of Roberts would stay high on the track. He slid down on the apron. Baydorf didn't expect that, and he just clobbered him. That was the majority of the damage, actually, I think, for Roberts. And pit road is busy. Holly, after spinning the tires in the last restart, not too surprised to see him lead the entire field down pit road.
Well, almost everybody. Strangely enough, we have Austin Hunter, who decided to stay out, and also the 89 car has also stayed out. So we have a couple guys who are staying out there, but most everyone's in the pits, and we'll see who makes it off of pit road first this time.
This is potentially only the battle for third now to come off pit road. We'll see if those two other drivers come to pit lane this time. Colton Lane in the number 60 machine is going to win the race off pit road. Holly and Smith will follow him.
And Colton Lane only took 2 tires on that stop. An interesting decision, but after such a short run, I think it might not be a horrible one, honestly. Track position seems to be making a big difference here with all the cautions we're having.
It does indeed, and it looks like Austin Hunter will surrender the lead as he comes down now. That's going to hand it over to Alec Lumpkin in the 89, who stayed out completely under this caution. I wonder, though, this is a strategy we used to see in the real-world racing of NASCAR. When they had the extra point for leading a lap, we used to see drivers sometimes further back in the field stay out under caution just to get that bonus point for leading a lap. I wonder if that's what a couple of the drivers are pulling tonight.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy, especially from the back of the pack. It's definitely something you can do to try and get a ton of track position and try and get out of the craziness and out of the having to dodge the wrecks in the back. It's something that a lot of the NASCAR drivers tend to do at the super speedways, but yeah, I mean, like with the tire wear that we're seeing here and how much the lap times are decreasing, I'm not sure whether this is a good strategy.
We'll see how it pans out. A couple more laps, or at least one more lap until we go green here. Now, Alec Lumpkin, was he actually a lap down before these pit stops? Was he a wave-around driver?
I believe
We'll see here
so.
if he goes past. Yes, he was. So that's going to give the lead actually to Colton Lane, who won the race off pit road. Now, he is on 2 fresh tires, I should say. Hopefully he's got 4 tires for that Toyota Tundra. Bradley Holly's going to be to his outside. The outside has not been preferred, but those left side tires that he has for fresh might come into play. We'll have to see here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see whether or not that that 2 tire strategy works for Colton Lane. The grip is disappearing quickly on this track, so it's going to be a tough one for Colton to stay up from front, especially if he spins the tires on the start.
Well, our questions of uncertainty will be answered here shortly. Row 2, if you're wondering, that's J.R. Smith and Rob Haynes there on the outside. So J.R. Smith, I don't know, he might be a big force here on this restart. He's had some great jumps on the last couple of goes at it. Will he have another one here? The pace car pulls off. It's a decent jump from Lane on the bottom. The 184 of Holly does not get going on the outside. He has the 33 already, looking to take that second spot away from him on the inside.
Holly's going to be paying the penalty for that lack of momentum here as we have Thomas Sink taking a look as well. But here goes J.R. Smith going underneath Colton Lane.
Just like that, from third to first in less than a lap. But how about Holly shooting right back to the outside? Not going to have any kind of run, at least there. He's going to slot in right back behind him. J.R. Smith is back to the lead here at Rockingham, as it looks like Colton Lane, with those 2 tires, that strategy did not play out for him like he wanted to, because he is already falling back through the field, already back to 5th.
That hypothesis was for sure disproved here as we look at Colton Lane trying to hang on. Looks like Sean Hill is getting pressure from behind by Dominic Jean as well.
Bajine's a driver that's been moving up through the field really nicely tonight, up to 7th right now, started 12th. And like you said, track position really has been important tonight, so passing has not been super easy at all here. A little bit of an awkward progressive banking we have here, 22 to 25 degrees, depending on exactly what kind of bump you're driving on.
And up at the lead, J.R. Smith got really loose off of 2, and it looks like Bradley Holly's going to try and stuff it in underneath, but J.R. Smith holding it strong on that top line. He's going to be able to hold on to it for now, but that just brings 3rd and 4th right up to him, and it looks like Thomas Sink might look underneath.
Passing here so tough. He got a big run on Smith when he made that bobble. Couldn't quite do it, and that mistake by Holly to not be able to get that pass done allowed Thomas Sink to get right back to the bumper.
And we go back to Colton Lane. Sharn Hill's trying to get past, but Colton's making it really difficult. It looks like Sharn Hill's going to get the crossover done off of 3 and 4 and dive underneath here. But wait, here we go. Colton Lane trying to hold strong on the top end. Sharn Hill's got the hookup, and he's going to go side by side down the backstretch.
He's got the preferred line. Does he have the speed? He almost touches him. Colton Lane on the outside is going to be able to power through and keep that position for now.
That was a gorgeous squeeze from Lane, but here goes Dominic Bajin trying to get the best of Sharn Hill. Doesn't look like it's worked out, and Dominic Bajin actually backs up everybody behind him. It's really a gaggle.
Basaw, Sumner, Melikian, Duchesne, and Hartman, all of the trucks that had to stack up there. A big traffic jam on the backstretch.
We're taking a look here at Duchesne, who's under pressure a little bit from Hartman. This is a really just quite a big group. There's a big separation there between Lane and Hayes of about a second. And they're really, oh wow, here goes Sharn Hill underneath Colton Lane again. He's trying to make it work.
He keeps adding the pressure to that number 60 truck. And Colton Lane, while he lost a lot of positions at the start with those 2 tires, doesn't seem to be falling back any more through the field. He's been able to power around on the outside of Sharn Hill quite a bit now.
We go riding with Dominic Bajin a couple cars back, taking a look in on this battle. Yeah, you know, Colton Lane's philosophy, he's trying to hold on to every position he can and try and equalize these tires so he can maintain this track position, and it looks like that strategy is definitely working out for him.
He hits his apexes perfectly when he doesn't have Sharn Hill coming to his inside. Got down on the apron a little bit there in 3 and 4. That's so easy to do. Sharn Hill putting the nose to him on the front stretch now.
Gonna look inside here. We'll see whether he can hold it. This hasn't worked out before. Colton Lane not squeezing him this time. He's gonna squeeze him on exit, and we'll see whether or not Sharn Hill can hold on.
Colton Lane tried to give him a lane. Sharn Hill took every inch he could of it. Colton moved up the track, and he still was able to power around to the outside. If they're not careful, though, Dominic Bajin is going to be looking for that position behind him.
Oh, man, Dominic Bajin had to blow up hardcore through 2, and now it looks like they've all backed up a little bit, and Charles Summers getting a little bit of a run, getting a chance to catch back up to that pack.
Let's check in on our leaders for just a moment. This battle started to get interesting. This is J.R. Smith still leading. Holly's in second. He hasn't been able to keep a whole lot of pressure on him. Nonetheless, though, he's really filling up the mirror of the 33 right now.
Definitely. He's just kind of riding around. Oh, my gosh. It looks like Sharn Hill got enough of Colton Lane and just shoved him up the track in 3 and 4. He's made the pass now, and Colton Lane is now trapped on the high side. I'm not sure how many more positions he's going to be able to hold on to.
Let's take a look back at that on the replay. See what Colton Lane had to deal with.
Now watch Sharn Hill go here on the inside. He's just going to say, I've had enough, and watch him put the door here to Colton Lane.
The patience ran thin. As we come back to live, taking a look at Colton Lane, he's kind of stuck on that outside groove. He has lost quite a few positions, but a battle in front of him is going on. That's Robert Basaw Jr. in the 24, Dominic Bajin in the 66.
Yeah, that whole gaggle there with Sumner getting bumped up really changed positions a lot, and I think it really made Bajin have a really good opportunity to get down there underneath the likes of Charles Sumner. And so that battle has gone really well, and now we're looking at a pass possibly for the lead here. Bradley Holly getting really close to J.R. Smith there at the top.
He definitely is. We've hit over the halfway mark now in this race at round 2 at Rockingham. Bradley Holly really putting the pressure on Smith.
Yeah, Holly's just hanging out just a little bit high of the very bottom groove there, just hanging out with his left tires just a little bit up from that yellow line through 3 and 4, and that's actually getting up above most of the deep bumps through 3 and 4, and that's giving him a better lane. But watch him hook it up here in 1 and 2. He's really got a good truck under him right now. He's managed his tires well, and he'll be definitely looking for the lead soon.
Oh, Holly definitely getting a run. Like you said, he's hooking it up. Hopefully these two drivers out of the Longhorn State, though, keep it clean. I hope no one hooks them.
And it looked like J.R. Smith got a little loose there out of 1 and 2. He may have burned off his rear tires, something that's actually not that hard to do here. Oh man, as Bradley Holly gets really close, he's going to try and make the run here. He looks low into 1 and 2. We'll see whether he packs it in. He decides to back out, but wow, J.R. Smith super loose and goes way up the track.
Big bobble from J.R. Smith. That is going to give him a little bit of, or he's going to lose another position behind him. That's Thomas Sink coming down to his inside. Almost like getting freight trained like last week at Martinsville.
That was a gorgeous late dive into the corner by Sink. That high banking allows you to be able to do that, but you do pay a penalty in tire wear, so we'll see whether or not Sink can hold on to this.
So far, so good, but the big mover in that little scuffle was Bradley Holly going to the lead. He has been really quick today for sure in that 184 truck. That truck in front of him is Eric Roberts, who's 4 laps down. He was involved in the big one earlier, but Thomas Sink, don't look now, but he is really starting to put the pressure on him for the lead.
Yeah, after Holly's good pit stop, he's been up near the front the rest of this race, but Sink, man, he's just managed his stuff, and it's just coming right up on Bradley Holly. It's possible. Oh, wow, the lap traffic almost causing a problem there for Holly. That's going to give Sink an opportunity to close for sure.
Sink got kind of an awkward corner entry there coming into turn 1. That's going to allow J.R. Smith to come right up on his back bumper. I don't know if he's going to be on his bumper for long, though, because he's looking to make a pass. Not now. He backs off, but Smith had a big run there on the backstretch.
Yeah, Sink sent it into 3 and 4 again just to regather, get that gap back up, and it looks like both J.R. Smith and Thomas Sink are closing in on the back of Holly here. It looks like being in the lead, not super advantageous right now.
A little bit of a battle further back. This is for 10th position. That's Colton Lane. Remember, he was falling back through the field. This is where he has cycled through now. That's Rob Malikian behind him, and Danny Duchesne and Nick Delp further back as well.
Yeah, this long run is not what Colton Lane wanted to see at all. Colton Lane wanted to see another short run, another short caution where everyone comes in for tires, because look at him. He gets super wide coming out of 1 and 2. Robert Malikian's going to go down low, and Colton Lane's not going to say boo about it.
Colton Lane came away with a 12th place finish last week at Martinsville. I'm sure he would like to finish at least inside the top 10, but I think he's going to fall back to 11th here. That is really close in turn 1 with Rob Malikian. Malikian now to the outside. Behind them is Nick Delp, pointing that truck to the bottom in the 58, and already to his outside, Danny Duchesne's joining the party as well.
Yeah, Duchesne on the outside, but that's not the preferred line into the corner. But Nick Delp, oh, he looks like these trucks are starting to get tight as he woes it up significantly going into the corner. He's going to get a better run out as Duchesne almost hits the outside of the wall.
It is so easy to get your tires worn out here. That might be a little bit of what we're seeing in the battle for second. Thomas Sink still being hounded by J.R. Smith behind him, and they are not far away at all from Bradley Holly in the lead, so almost a 3-car battle for the lead right now.
Looks like these trucks have transitioned from being super in the track to being loose to being tight now as they start packing it into these corners harder and harder, and those front tires are starting to scrub off more and more. These trucks might actually start to balance a little bit more, but wow, J.R. Smith got really close there and almost pushed Sink into the corner, pushing him a little high.
This is the kind of racing that made Rockingham Speedway a fan favorite. So unpredictable. What comes into a turn is almost definitely not going to be what you have coming out of it. Thomas Sink, he was almost stuck on the bottom there. J.R. Smith behind him. The momentum just keeps shifting right back and forth. Looks like Thomas Sink gets a big run into the turn. He just can't keep it coming out of the turn. Bradley Holly is really... He's got to be starting to worry. He's probably trying to want these guys to battle behind him.
And he wants them to battle behind him, but he's not having any luck. Thomas Sink is positioning his truck beautifully for defense, but also managing to get good exits off the corner for offense. Thomas Sink is looking amazing today, but Holly's also amazing for positioning his truck in the right place to make sure Sink doesn't get by.
Ray Richer has just come in for a pit stop. I'm wondering if this was scheduled, if they still think they need fuel to get to the end.
And he's not... Oh, he is taking tires, so maybe he thought that he needed fuel to get to the end. This might be that pit stop we were talking about.
I believe looks like 39 laps to go. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the case or if he just had some damage he's getting repairs for as well. Or maybe he just really needed tires. Maybe these tires have really worn off. This is quite an abrasive surface here, almost like an Atlanta or a California when it comes to the track surface.
And this is most definitely the closest battle on track here, looking up here at the lead. These front three are right together. They're burning off they're using up all their stuff. It is an intense battle up here for first position, and that's exactly what we love to see here at the Rock.
Indeed it is. I'm not sure if Bradley Holly's loving to see this. I think he would really love to pull away right now. These guys are not letting that happen. A huge run for Thomas Sink there to get all up on the back bumper. He's going to peek down to the inside. Is this where he makes a pass, or is he going to back out of it? He points it down into turn number 3 on the apron, almost riding that yellow line. That's such a risky move because that is such a flat apron. You could really unsettle a truck. He's not able to keep the momentum going. He slides back in line in second.
Holly definitely gave him a lane there to try and make the move, and Thomas Sink just couldn't dive it deep enough in with feeling confident and making sure that it wasn't going to wreck Holly. These guys are not only racing really well, but also really respectfully, and that's what I love to see coming out of the Precision Racing League.
Well, it's definitely making these drivers all be very precise because one little bobble, like we've seen, is going to send you to the rear of, if not just this three-truck battle, it's going to send you further back in the field as well. It looks like J.R. Smith might be losing touch with these guys a little bit. That or Thomas Sink is really just putting on the afterburners. He might have been saving his tires a little bit more. He is looking real strong right now.
We're going to go back here and take a look at Sharn Hill and Robert Bassat Jr. Robert Bassat Jr. starting to climb to the back of Sharn Hill. Sharn Hill's stuff might be spent now, and Bassat is, he's got a significant head of steam, and he's closing in. We'll see whether he sends it into 3 and 4. He decides better of it, but he'll probably get him on the front stretch.
And Sharn Hill has been a dominant force tonight for sure. He was last week at Martinsville as well. There's no doubt about that. He ended up finishing 10 laps down in 16th, but that did not at all really accurately.
It looks like J.R. Smith is trying to make a move on Thomas Sink here for second position. He's going to go straight by through 3 and 4. Thomas Sink got a little loose off of 1 and 2 and was down on the bottom of the track. And wow, they get super close and tied up again. Positions have swapped here at the front.
We just mentioned how precise they have to be. I think we have the replay of that as well. Oh boy, here we go. Let's take a look at that. That was a bold move to capitalize on a mistake.
Yep, definitely capitalized on that mistake and got underneath there. And what that was an amazing... Oh no, the leaders have wrecked! The leaders have wrecked back on the back live.
We stay green for now, but I think J.R. Smith's going to come back up on the track. That might not stay green for long. Actually, I think he might get it going. Let's take a look at this replay. This was coming out of turn 2. J.R. Smith making a pass. Now the caution comes out. Bradley Holly was on the outside, but oh boy.
Yeah, J.R. Smith just got tight off the corner and really just kept his foot in it, and that got both of them loose. Unfortunately for J.R. Smith, he's the one who got the worst of it and ended up spinning out. But both of these trucks should be able to continue, but that puts J.R. Smith back down into 12th position. And man, I don't even... Bradley Holly still holding it on to second, unbelievably.
A little bit of damage on the front of the number 33. Nothing on the rear, but I don't think that should hurt Smith too bad. I think he's going to be much more hurt by the loss of track position here.
Definitely, and that whole mess puts Thomas Sink into the lead. All of his work is not for nothing. He's going to be the lead going into another pit stop, probably with everyone taking 4 tires after seeing just how badly Colton Lane suffered.
Everyone desperately wanting tires. They're definitely going to be good to the end here on fuel as well. On pit road, this might end up being the money stop. They need to hit their marks perfectly, not get caught for speeding. It's so easy to do that here at Rockingham. 40 miles an hour down on pit road for these guys.
And we'll be interested to see whether or not everyone can get the pits going. And it looks like Thomas Sink has overshot his pit stop just a little bit. We'll see whether or not he can get out first. Whoa! On what? Thomas Sink decided to go with no tires. He's fuel only.
Oh boy. Bradley Holly comes out behind him. Robert Bassaw is going to overtake Sean Hill in the pit lane, and Dominic Begine will hold down 5th place where he came in. So an interesting call for Thomas Sink.
Yeah, I had to go back and make sure that it actually happened. But yeah, no, Thomas Sink did not go up on Jex. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure about this play. We still have quite a ways to go. It's, this is gonna be a really hard restart for him.
It will indeed. And now this is a timed event as well. There's a time limit on this. 55 minutes. We are down to 7 minutes 40 seconds to go. So we might not be able to get these laps all in. We'll have to see. But Thomas Sink may be betting at that. But it's not like he was further down through the field. He had speed. If he took tires, he probably would have come out as the leader. There was no need for him to throw the kitchen sink at it.
True, but they're gonna have a 12-lap shootout for the end, and like that's a long time to hold on, especially with Colton Lane and how much he struggled on 2 tires.
Well, it's gonna cause for one interesting restart for sure. That being said, though, with the fresh tires, the inside lane has been much more the dominant line here. Bradley Holly on the outside, I think even with fresh tires, he's going to struggle on the outside. Robert Bassaw Jr., we haven't seen a whole lot of him tonight, but the driver out of New York in the number 24, he might be in a perfect scenario.
Yeah, Robert Bassaw Jr., he's been looking pretty good all night. Sean Hill as well. Dominic Begine, while he's had his struggles early on, his last couple runs have been pretty good. And Charles Sumner up to 6th position. That's the co-championship leader going into this race. It's going to be really interesting to see whether or not he can make the top side work here as we get ready to go green.
All right, brace yourselves. This is going to get interesting. Thomas Sink, your leader, coming into turn number 3. How are these tires going to hold up on this old abrasive surface with everyone behind him on fresh Goodyears? Bradley Holly to his outside. The outside line has struggled, especially the leader of the outside line. Robert Bassaw Jr. and Sean Hill behind him in row 2. What will they react with? A little bit of a checkup there. That's going to be a good news, though, for the 48 of Thomas Sink. He's going to clear the 184, but that allows Holly to get down to the inside. How long is this going to hold up for Sink? He's already looking underneath and gives him the tap. And new leader, Bradley Holly, gets it done on the backstretch. Chaos behind them, though. Robert Basaw Jr. sideways. A lot of cars spinning.
And Charles Sumner has gone around. He got caught up in it. He checked up, but not everyone did. Oh, my goodness. As the 713 hits the 19 car, this is a big mess. This is going to get way into our virtual rain.
It indeed looked like it might have started sprinkling over there in turns 3 and 4. Definitely chaos. Everyone knowing that time is limited. Everyone trying to gain just a couple more positions to help them. Hard, tough racing. And just chaos ensued behind them. A lot of trucks getting damaged from that. Like you said, Sumner was involved along with others.
Yeah, it looks like everyone just got a little target fixated on that accident happening ahead of him. Didn't realize they were 3 wide and just got the bad end of the stick.
Take a look at Robert Malikian, his point of view through that accident.
He almost was able to get underneath Sumner as Sumner went up into the
Yeah.
wall. That's got to feel, oh my goodness, and he gets clobbered at the end. That's got to feel awful.
That was Brian Benedict that came through and hit him, I believe. Now, Bradley Holly has the lead still. He chose not to pit. Sharn Hill is up to second. Thomas Sink did come into the pits. And William Hartman, I have currently being scored in 3rd place.
That would be correct. 3rd place, and we have about 3 minutes and 30 seconds till that forecasted virtual rain is supposed to come on track, and this is going to be a very short restart if we even get to it.
And a bit of a correction to what I just said. I think Robert Basaw Jr., despite being involved in that accident, he's going to retain 3rd place. Hartman, or I'm sorry, he's going to be in 4th place. Hartman in front of him in 3rd. Dominic Begine in 5th.
We got Austin Hunter, J.R. Smith in 7th, Nicholas Delp 8th, Alec Lumpkin in 9th, and Rob Haynes rounding out your top 10 for this probably final restart.
So Bradley Holly, he's had a great night tonight, and really so far in the first 2 races of the season, a great start. He was one of the 7 trucks that finished on the lead lap last week at Martinsville. He finished 6th, but still a great result, and especially he's got a lot of momentum in the beginning of the season. The pace lights are going to extinguish, so we might get a restart here.
Oh boy, a 1-lap shootout as the rain is fast approaching, looks like on our forecast. This is going to be intense. We'll see just how much Bradley Holly and Sharn Hill send it in the 1 and 2. Sharn Hill has had a lot of speed through the corners.
Bradley Holly, how is he going to defend Sharn Hill here? Hill has been fast, but he's been stuck in traffic. He's finally up here. William Hartman, we have no clue what he's going to do, because this is his first time inside the top 5. It looks like we are coming to 4 laps to go when they hit the line. 4 laps for Bradley Holly to hold on to. They might be the longest 4 laps of his race tonight. That is if he can hold on to it. The pace car pulls off. They are coming to the line. Green flag is in the air. He spins the tires just a little bit, but he gets it going. A great start behind him from William Hartman in the 67 as well. He clears Hill and moves into 2nd.
Hill's really struggling back there and backing up the rest of the field as Basaw Jr. is stuck on the outside. The lead 3 have broken away. And we have a white flag at the line. The white flag will come out at the line. The battle for the lead is not finished yet.
Does William Hartman in the 67, who's had a quiet night besides being involved in a couple accidents, does he have anything for the leader of Bradley Holly, who's been so dominant tonight? Sharon Hill in 3rd place. He's looking like he wants to make a run at 2nd as well, but I don't think they're going to have enough time. Coming into turn 3 and 4 and coming out now, Bradley Holly. He is going to take his first win of the season here tonight at Rockingham with a dominant performance. Everyone comes across the line behind him. A couple drivers like J.R. Smith sliding across the line. Drifting, I should say. But everyone made it clean on that last green flag stint. We are going to take a break. We are going to have results, unofficial results, and driver interviews when we come back. You're not going to want to miss them. Stick around. Welcome back to Rockingham, North Carolina, more specifically Rockingham Speedway, where the dust has settled and the smoke from the burnout that Bradley Holly just produced on the front straightaway also has risen. He is your winner tonight, Will Hartman. What a charge late at the end from 23rd to 2nd out of nowhere, basically. Great effort from him tonight. He's definitely going to be the hard charger tonight for sure. Sharon Hill, as expected, he's been fast tonight. He got stuck in traffic. He's going to recover for a 3rd place finish. Another good run for Dominic Begine, coming from 12th to 4th. J.R. Smith in 5th, rounding out the top 5 with Austin Hunter. Another one coming from 17th to 6th behind him. Robert Bassaw Jr., Nicholas Delp, Rob Haynes, and Thomas Sink. That's where he will end up in P10 tonight. How's the rest of the field looking at him?
All right, let's try this again. Make it different than the beginning of the race. We have Charles Sumner in 11th position, Colton Lane in 12th position, Mike Richter, even after all his troubles, coming in 13th position. 14th is going to be Alec Lumpkin. Then we have in 15th, Robert Malikian. 16th is going to be Ray Ricker. And then in 17th, we have Eric Roberts. He was down 5 laps. And then we have the DNFs, which are Danny Duchesne, Ronald McManus, and Chris Baydorf, as well as the final DNFs, who are John LaBaff, Brendan Chatley, Brandon Walter, and Brian Benedict, rounding out your field.
They will round out the 24 truck field, and one of the drivers that really paced the 24 truck field tonight and comes away with the checkered flag is Brad Holly. We're able to talk to him. Bradley, that was quite the intense battle we had for the lead there for that entire race.
Yes, it was. It was probably one of the more stressful drives I've had in a while.
I was wondering if those couple of laps at the end were going to be the longest laps of your race. You had J.R. Smith to deal with the entire race. You also had Thomas Sink to deal with the entire race. How did it feel on the abrasive surface and dealing with trying to conserve your tires on top of that with all the battling going on?
Well, with the way I was driving the track, I was entering the corner a little softer than everybody else, so there was a couple times someone would come in and almost run me over or whatnot. But I was trying to save my right front better than everybody else to keep myself out front.
I think you definitely did it. Saw a couple of cautions, and we saw an incident up there involving the leaders. Take us through that and what kind of happened from your vantage point.
I was trying to give, I believe, JR or Thomas a little bit of room, and for whatever reason this year at Rockingham, it just gets real tight on the outside, so I ended up pushing up too much, had to get out of it, and JR or Justin got tight and got into my door. We already talked about it, and everything's good.
Yeah, definitely just a hard racing accident there. You had a great run last week at Martinsville as well. Well, everyone came away from that with a little bit of damage, I think, but you came away with a 6th place finish there. And how about a win tonight? You are putting together a great start to the beginning of the season. How do you feel about Texas next week, carrying this momentum on there?
Hopefully I can do well there. That's my home track, and that's actually one of my favorite tracks to go to.
I think it's one of our favorites to watch as well. If the racing is anything like we saw tonight, it's going to be a good one. Before we let you go, spray the champagne in your living room. Anyone you want to give a thank you or a shout out to tonight?
I just want to thank everybody else for having some fun in PRL and racing clean. And my sponsor for North Star Title for giving me the opportunity to showcase their company.
All right, well, that's an awesome deal you've got hooked up there. And Bradley, hopefully we talk to you again in the booth. I would have a feeling that based off of your speed tonight, we'll get the opportunity to do so in the next coming weeks.
I hope so also.
All right, that was Bradley Holly, your winner tonight in Rockingham. Adam, you've caught up with our 2nd place finisher, it looks like.
That's right. We are talking to William Hartman now. William, starting that last restart, you started on the outside, and it looked like you might have had a good chance here. Did you think you had a chance of catching up to Bradley Holly there?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough. We knew we were going to have just that green-white checkered finish, and man, the leader, he got a really, really good jump. So kudos to him for getting a great restart there and stretching out. I tried to overdrive it a little bit into turn 1 and see if I could maybe make up a little bit of time, but he'd already checked out quite a bit from us. So congratulations to him, but it was a great race throughout, and just happy to be in position there at the end.
Yeah, speaking of a great race throughout, you made up 21 positions throughout this race. How did you manage to pick your way from the back to the front?
Well, I don't know if it's super impressive, the fact that I couldn't put together a qualifying lap. So that kind of led to me having to charge up from the back of the field, and it took me almost the entire race to get there. Had a speeding penalty as well, so just a kind of a sloppy performance by me. But just lucky to be in position at the end, got through a couple of those last couple of wrecks and able to be up front. So really, really happy with how it turned out. It could have definitely been a lot worse of a day.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure after qualifying on the pole for Martinsville, it must feel good to get a good finish here. What are you thinking as far as your chances are for next week?
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable. Obviously, really, really, really talented group of drivers here. So you never know who's going to step up each week. But I feel like a good finish today leads a little momentum into next week, and we can try and put together another good.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us again here on the GSRC. William, is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I just got to thank all the guys over at Savage Drive, our team. It's a great group of guys who get together and keep pushing each other to get better. And then, of course, sponsors Premier Carpentry and Painting for all that they do to help us. And you guys, of course, for putting on a great broadcast for us. Can't thank you guys.
Well, thank you for putting on a great show. All right, William, that was great, and have a great night. All right, so now we have Nick. I think you're with Sharn Hill now.
I am indeed our final driver on the podium tonight out of the Virginia's Club. Sharn, heck of a race you had to put together and fight hard for third place tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Usually I kind of outrun where I finish, and today was kind of the opposite. I just kind of felt a little bit off compared to the guys up front.
We saw you be really strong early on in the race, and then after the first pit stop, it looked like you just kind of got stuck back in traffic and had to really fight hard, really hard for every single position. Was that the case? It looked like track position and passing was just such a premium today.
Yeah, I was extremely tight. You can't really have that when you're fighting for positions underneath somebody. You can't maximize the exit of the corner, so it takes even more laps to get by somebody, and Rockingham is always tough to pass in the first place, so it turns a 3-lap pass proposition into a 10-lap one.
We saw a couple drivers like Colton there towards the end take 2 tires. We also saw Thomas take no tires at one point. Was 4 tires the only way to go, or was there any chance that anyone else like you could have made it work with 2 tires late on in the race?
Yeah, there's no way I could have made it on 2 tires. I wasn't competitive on 4 for the win at the end. So, I mean, what we did was best for us. Some guys made it work. Like I said, it's hard to pass, so if you can stick it on the outside, 2 tires, may be able to work for a few laps. I just definitely knew I couldn't make that happen.
All right, well, finally for you, this is a much better position, or much better finish than you had last week at Martinsville. So, you looking forward to Texas next week? Is that a track you like to showcase your speed at as well?
Yeah, it kind of depends. I'm either hit or miss there. Sometimes I'll lead a bunch of laps. Sometimes I'll run 5th to 10th. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Texas is a lot of fun because it's wide open. It's really fast. A lot of opportunities to pass. So I'm excited either way.
All right, well, we'll let you go for the night, but congratulations on a heck of a run there at the end and finishing 3rd here tonight at Rockingham.
Thank you.
All right, that was Sharn Hill, and hey, we want to give a special thank you to everyone who came out tonight for round 2 in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series, especially everyone who helps in the organization and behind-the-scenes logistics over at Precision Racing League. We also want to thank our sponsor for tonight's race, Established Traffic Control. Remember to see earlier in the broadcast for more on their information. And an additional thanks to all the amazing companies that provide the software and hardware that we use to create a GSRC production for you. We also, of course, want to thank the very talented June Lalonde, who provides our music. See the screen for more on how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team tonight, Adam, Sean, and Dougie. Make sure you check out the GSRC on social media. You can do that on our website on globalsimracingchannel.com, on Twitter at GSR Channel, on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, on Instagram at GSRC_Graham, and of course on our YouTube channel right here, right now. We invite you to scroll down just a touch and hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss a second of racing. That's going to do it for the racing here tonight in Rockingham, but that will not do it for the racing here tonight on GSRC. Round 2 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series is happening right now at Watkins Glen over at the iRacing Esports Network, so I highly recommend you head over there for some more exciting racing. The PRL NASCAR Truck Series will be back next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for round 3 at Texas, so as well, mark that on your calendars and come join us for that. Finally, with all that being said, thanks so much for joining us on the broadcast tonight, and until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.